November is National Diabetes Month, and the theme for this year is Take Charge of Tomorrow, Preventing Diabetes Health Problems. Now celebrating its 10th anniversary, the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren St. Michael, has been in the forefront of looking after the needs of diabetics and pre-diabetics in Barbados. Whether it's diabetic eye screening, vascular screening, podiatry services, advice on nutrition, our range of diabetes specialists, doctors and nurses are available to fulfill your diabetic needs. Call and make an appointment today at 243-3937 or 417-0305. The Maria Holder Diabetes Center. BART members get 10% off.
A special welcome to everyone listening to 100.7 QFM right now. You know today, Thursday, is Q Day, and it's also another special day, and you're going to be hearing about what that is very soon. But I know that right now people are getting ready to go to Q in the community in Briar Park later. But before you get there, this is Peter Boyce here, and I invite you to listen to the next 15 healthy minutes you hear on QFM, which is being sponsored by the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, along with the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program. Now, you listen to QFM because you know that Q is good for you, but you know what else is good for you? The Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren St. Michael, the place for you to go for quality health services at low prices, especially if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And the big announcement today is, you ready? Today, the 14th of November, is not only Q Day, but it's also World Diabetes Day. So we are going to start this 15 minutes by going to the official message from the Barbados Diabetes Foundation, being done by diabetes specialist Dr. Diane Brathwaite.
Happy World Diabetes Day 2024. For us at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center for the Caribbean, this represents 10 years as a team of acknowledging and commemorating World Diabetes Day. This year's theme is Breaking Barriers, Bridging Gaps, and there is a worldwide call to ensure that all persons diagnosed with diabetes have access to equitable, comprehensive, affordable, and quality treatment and care. Though we live in an island with a high prevalence rate of diabetes and some healthcare system challenges, we still have an enormous amount to be very grateful for. We live in an island with a healthcare system which, despite its challenges, operates under the principle of equity. We have a government-funded system with some of the best specialists and care providers, a national drug service which has licensed some of the newer tablets, insulins, and pens in a way other Caribbean islands have yet to embrace. However, with freedom always comes some challenge and responsibilities. The staff and board of trustees at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center for the Caribbean is very proud to be a part of the equitable delivery of care, especially with these programs geared towards persons in the polyclinics, on dialysis, and in the phase between late adolescent and young adulthood. We have benefited not only as care providers, but also clients from the generosity of the government and amazing donors who see equitable diabetes care as a must for Barbados. Not only is it care, but it's multidisciplinary care, the gold standard for good diabetes care, where persons benefit from diabetes-specific education by diabetes educators and specialist nurses, to dietetic education or medical nutrition therapy, medical care, podiatry and wound care, eye care services, cardiology, vascular screening, kidney checks, and the list goes on. However, persons should invest in their own care by empowering themselves with knowledge, including nutrition and medication knowledge, then having the discipline and also the commitment to put these in place on a regular basis. While in my lifetime significant drops in diabetes rates may not be seen, what can be attained is a significant reduction in the costly, progressive, and devastating and also unnecessary complications of diabetes through early regular screening for diabetes and its complications, followed by a good legacy of self-care and blood sugar control. Where possible, efforts should be made to put diabetes into remission, especially early in the diagnosis or the pre-diabetic stage. Though I will stress this may not be possible for everyone due to the very nature of diabetes, its genetics, and the highly variable behavior and progression between persons with diabetes. However, I do believe everyone can still optimize their health. I think it's important to remember that diabetes can cause disability, mental distress, and memory decline. Also, challenged populations, whatever the challenge, are more likely to get a new diagnosis of diabetes in their lifetime. But those seen as disadvantaged must never be dismissed, but approached in a way that meets their needs. Persons and children living with type 1 diabetes should never be dismissed or bullied in schools because of their condition, and wider population education should be extended to all persons to better understand these conditions which are prevalent in our society. My core belief is that we all have one life and must live it well. No longer should money or age or educational level be a barrier to education or care, but it must be done in a meaningful and empowering manner relevant to the individual. I urge Barbados, Barbadians, commercial Barbados, NGOs, community and government entities, even entities outside of health, to be a part of the solution for our nation, for our children and the future generation of adults. And I urge persons and their families to also be a part of the solution by taking personal responsibility and living in a way that honors your life and health and that of those you care for. Be your brother's keeper. On every level, the phrase, "what you put in is what you get out," rings true. We remain committed to serving the people of Barbados, and I encourage you to remain committed to yourself. Take care of yourself, empower yourself, and live your best life. We have many resources in Barbados. Reach out if you notice any changes or have challenges. Remember, you are not on this journey alone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brathwaite, for that Diabetes Day message that you just heard on QFM. She's just one of the many diabetes specialist doctors that you can find at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, along with, when was the last time you got your eyes screened for diabetic retinopathy?
I know, I was supposed to do that ever since.
Well, all diabetics are supposed to do that at least once a year. Next thing you know, you lose your sight. And we don't want that to happen. And also, if you feel you have bad circulation,
I just feel like that sometimes. My fibers be swelling.
They have cutting-edge vascular screening services that can check that out for you. The numbers to call? Yes, I write it down. 417-0305 or 243-3937. to reach the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Another service you can also find there is nutritionist Victoria Cox.
I'm very glad to hear that. I want to lose weight. I want when I get a cue in the community I'm looking good and people think that I'm wearing Rihanna Fenty beauty products.
Well, you can call and get a private consultation to get a customized meal plan specially for you to help you lose that weight that you don't want to lose ever since. All of this at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. So now we are going to hear from Victoria because you know it's independence and you know Bajans like eating conkeys. So let's hear what nutritionist Victoria Cox has to say about eating conkeys.
So with independence coming up, everybody's question is going to be on, can I eat conkeys if I'm living with diabetes? And the reality is, like anything, conkeys are going to fall into the category essentially of a dessert or a snack that does have in sugar. So ultimately, yes, it is probably going to have some kind of effect on blood sugar. Not necessarily a favorable effect, but of course you still want to enjoy, special treats once in a while. In terms of being able to make them potentially a little bit healthier, as with anything, you can experiment with trying to use less sugar in your recipe, maybe even less raisins if you put raisins in there, because that is still just natural sugar, and natural sugar is still sugar. And potentially also just making them smaller, so having a smaller portion essentially, because you have made a smaller version of a conky and then you stick to just one at a time, so you're technically taking in less in that moment if you stick to just one, because otherwise, the other components of the conky, even outside of the sugar and the raisins, are still going to have carbohydrate in them. A little bit of flour, obviously some cornmeal or corn flour. These things are carbohydrates that will turn into sugar. So overall, it's something that you don't want to overdo. But for sure, if they can be made with a little bit less sugar and less raisins and just made a little bit smaller, that's probably the best bet for making them an overall more blood sugar friendly option.
As we celebrate Independence and World Diabetes Day today, we go to Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter with a Bajan song that's a tribute to all the diabetes doctors at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. This is Dr. Cassandra.
Why she give me pain, now me whole body feeling better than ever. To give me medicine.
The Maria Holder Diabetes Center, serving you through Diabetes Month and beyond.
When you coming to give me a medicine.
Be quiet, boy, I'm your doctor. I'm here to make you better.
And this is
I'm your doctor.
If you are a BART member listening to QFM right now, the Maria Holder Diabetes Center will be having special diabetic screening clinics at the BART office in Hastings today, Thursday, and every Thursday in November. Diabetic eye screening and podiatry foot screen only $90 each, or get both for only $175. Book your appointment now, 417-0305. For diabetic screenings at the BARP office every Thursday in November only. And watch out for the Republic Bank Health Fair that is coming off this Saturday, the 16th of November at Golden Square, Freedom Park, Bridgetown from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Barbados Diabetes Foundation will be there along with many other health associations. Don't you miss it!
The Maria Holder Diabetes Center, serving you through Diabetes Month and beyond.
We now welcome to the show podiatrist Miss Louise Robinson. Welcome to the show, Louise.
Hello, thank you. Hello, listeners. I'm Peter. How are you?
Yes, I am fine. And how are you doing? How's my English accent?
Oh, it's not too bad, actually.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
I'm very impressed.
Louise, you are a podiatrist, what some people would call a foot doctor. And the question that I have for you today is, why is it important that diabetics focus on their footwear?
Oh, that is important. So let me just take one question at a time. As a podiatrist and as a medical profession, we are here to treat and prevent disorders of the feet, and one of those is diabetes. You have to take extra care to prevent complications from high blood sugar levels. So with diabetes, you can get nerve damage such as diabetic neuropathy. That's where you can't feel your feet. So as a podiatrist, we help patients manage the feet with regular checkups. We can manage your feet for any damage. We can identify areas where you have reduced sensations. Usually when diabetics have reduced sensations, ulcers can then develop, and once then we have a foot ulcer developing, it can then break down, which leads to infection and leads to amputation. We're here to provide the wound care and help provide procedures to help remove that dead tissue and help promote healing. Talking about footwear is important. Barbados is a hot climate, but it doesn't mean that you should walk around barefoot. You can still get burns from the ground and from the sand. So I urge people, wear shoes in the house, because if you get any pain in your feet, what happens? It becomes uncomfortable. And then when we can't move around, it reduces your quality of life. So the right shoes helps protect your feet to improve your performance. And yes, they look good. And if we look good, we feel good. So it is important as a podiatrist to talk about good footwear.
The last 15 minutes you heard on QFM was compliments of the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, where you can find quality health services at low prices. So if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic and listening to QFM right now, you can give them a call at 243-3937 or 417-0305. So as you go out enjoying Q in the community today, remember, today is Diabetes Day, so be careful what you eat, and don't miss next week when we'll be dealing with
If I'm a diabetic, I can eat mix.
For the answer to that, tune in next week. Same Q time, same Q station. The Maria Holder Diabetes Center radio show.
November is National Diabetes Month, and the theme for this year is Take Charge of Tomorrow, Preventing Diabetes Health Problems. Now celebrating its 10th anniversary, the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren St. Michael, has been in the forefront of looking after the needs of diabetics and pre-diabetics in Barbados. Whether it's diabetic eye screening, vascular screening, podiatry services, advice on nutrition, our range of diabetes specialists, doctors and nurses are available to fulfill your diabetic needs. Call and make an appointment today at 243-3937 or 417-0305. The Maria Holder Diabetes Center. BART members get 10% off.